Fly, fly, oh to be a fly. Fly, fly, come and be a fly on the wall.
Hello there. Our house is a mess. Come on in. Welcome to Fly on the Wallin podcast. We're happy to be here with you today. I am your neighborhood friendly black girl, Amber.
And I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben, how are you today?
I got this coffee running through my veins like Christ's blood running through my veins.
That's going to be a funny little joke for
we'll come
later in
back
the
to that
episode.
later.
Or maybe it's next episode. I don't know. There's this really great artist called Iniko, Iniko, who's got a great song called Jericho, and the white Christians have gotten hold of it and made a Christian version
white
of it.
evangelicals.
Right, white
we
evangelicals.
can't put the Lutherans, we can't wrap the Lutherans and the Episcopalians and the white Catholics in there.
I'm sorry,
can't do
other
that.
white Christians.
Yes.
The evangelicals
The
have
white
gotten to it.
Evangelicals.
But that is not what the show is about. Today we're going to talk about parenting. We're going to talk about being creators and just making all the mistakes on the internet. Before we get started, we want you to get into the looks. Get into the looks, baby, because we are wearing that Fly on the Wallin merch.
hell yeah.
You look great, Ben. You're rocking the Internet Cousin shirt. I'm rocking some of our merch as well. So go to www.amberwallin.com and cop your merch today. What else we got going on, Ben?
We have a show October 25th at New York City Winery. It's in the Village. It's right on the Hudson, the Hudson is a beautiful river. You can go swimming in it. You might come out with mutant powers, but
Something tells me you're being funny.
I am being funny. I have gone swimming in the Hudson. I did a couple things in the Hudson. I peed in the Hudson, and I've also thrown a rock across the Hudson because I went to the location where the Hudson starts. It's upstate New York. I think it's in the Adirondacks.
How many times do you think you've been to the Hudson? For those who don't know, Ben's from Long Island.
I mean, it's just a river that you cross back and forth over like a million, 100, 300, 400 times.
Cool. And our show is going to be in that river, just to confirm.
It's not going to be in the river. You cannot go in the river. It's going to be on the river. But it's beautiful. You look across into the magical land of New Jersey.
You're funny. Buy your ticket immediately because they're going to be sold out by the days before the show. I just know this. I have a feeling. I'm joining you from the past.
Well, you can help us sell it out by buying a ticket.
Yeah, y'all are going to sell it out. Buy a ticket for your auntie, your cousin, and Fanita, who we had on last week, will be opening that show. All right. Before we get super started with the show, I want to thank everybody who is helping out the show in the ways that they can. So let's say, for example, you're not in New York. What people have been doing is writing them reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Hell yeah.
And so here are two reviews that I saw that I loved. This first review is from Aaliyah Never Rates. Aaliyah says, love, love, love. This family, this podcast, this energy is everything. If you like a good laugh from authentic people, this is the podcast for you. Grateful to have found this couple on TikTok and watch them grow. I will never forget the religious bark. I almost crashed my car, Ben.
Well, at that point, you got to let Jesus take the wheel.
Rule, baby.
Rule.
People really did enjoy the religious bark. How did that bode with the fam?
They were offended.
They were.
Yeah, and sometimes
they were offended because the bark wasn't.
Yeah,
as
well,
fluid?
I think the truth hurts sometimes.
Did you tell your mama that?
No. I said, hey, I didn't mean to offend you. This was my experience growing up. She's like, well, if it was your experience. And I was like, it was my experience initiated by you. And then she was like, well, I never barked. I was like, well, you missed out.
If you did not get to hear the religious barking, please go back to our episode, Who Let the Christians Out? And enjoy that barking and then apologize to we'll call your mom once again to apologize for driving more traffic to the bark.
Do you ever feel bad when you make a joke at someone else's expense or making fun of someone's beliefs? And then they confront you about it?
Well, here's how I feel about it. If I'm making the joke, I'm making the joke about my experience, which is what I feel like you did. And I think a part of being a comedian is just like constantly pissing somebody off or or elevating a joke the wrong way, but sometimes I'm kind of like I have some jokes coming up in our New York show that I'm sure somebody is going to be offended about.
Sure, of
but
course.
I'm kind of like, this is my experience of something that's happened or happening to me.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make a joke about how I feel about that thing, but
So when you
somebody,
make it
somebody's gonna get hurt.
personal and not, an overarching theme about all Christians bark,
Right. Yeah,
like
that's
since one Christian bark, all Christians bark. That's a faulty
Yeah.
logic.
exactly. So maybe she would have appreciated if you would have said, like, when we went to this church on this Wednesday, brother Mike got down on all fours,
Yeah.
lifted his leg and peed on that hydrant with it. So maybe, because then it takes her out of it. But somebody's gonna get hit. I've definitely told some jokes before. My mom was like, "You could not tell that story about your dad, Amber," and I was like, "Not to his face." But we just have to get back to talking about people behind their back just a little bit.
Yeah, or there's two things. One, you block everybody who's in your family so they don't see any of your content. Or you talk about things behind their back. But the problem is that the most traumatic stories or the most personal stories are the ones that people are going to enjoy.
Right.
Obviously,
I agree.
Right? For you, the listener, I'm going to keep on telling hilarious stories at the expense of my dear sweet mother.
I always tell my mom also, like, so when we think about some of our favorite comedians, right, like Richard Pryor, Monique, I think to myself, like, Mom, do you think Richard Pryor had to apologize to his mama about calling her a whore and growing up in a whorehouse? Like, probably. But that's not what we think about. So it's like this experience might not be unique to our parents, like feeling that way. But they do think, just for the record, both of our parents think we overshare and sometimes are not the biggest fans of the content.
My dad actually doesn't care. He's like, well, I'm not offended. Ben, you're just a funny person. I get it. My mom's a little bit more. Amber's rubbing. Is there something on my nose?
Yeah, let me see. Turn this way.
Oh, is there something on my nose? I think I got it.
Yeah,
so
I got it.
Amber and I are both recovering from these lingering coughs, and so
that ain't got nothing to do with them boogies.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, the boogies come out through the nose sometimes. The cough, snot is just coughing through your nose.
We have another Apple Podcast review here. This one's from Molly's friend Issa. Insecure. Molly's friend Issa says, "Thank you. I started following you guys last year while I was battling breast cancer. Your IG posts were my outlet to escape my reality. Recently started listening to the podcast. Thank you for allowing us into your lives." You know what?
Hell yeah, to surviving like a year of breast cancer. Like, that shit is fucking annoying, and that's awesome that we were able to help you through that. But honestly, you probably got through that more on your own than us.
Absolutely, 100%. And now, Molly's friend Issa, I'm going to be honest with you. The next time our parents are offended by our content and us sharing our lives, I'm like, know, people with breast cancer are watching me, and this is helping them battle those lumps in their boobies.
I wonder if the comedy, because you've seen Patch Adams, I wonder if her laughing at us maybe cured or helped her recovery, like actually helped her recovery with breast cancer. Do you remember the Patch Adams where he used? Oh my God, you haven't watched Patch Adams?
No.
Amber, oh man, this is Robin Williams at his.
Williams, yes.
Oh, it's so good, and it's so sad.
Okay, well, let's watch it when we leave.
So sad. Oh my, Amber,
I love
it's
I
a true
love
story.
what you call trauma porn.
Oh yeah, it's very, very funny. But one of my favorite scenes of that, and I've always thought that it would just be a fun thing to do, is that there's this woman, she's on her deathbed, she's very old, and Patch Adams says, "Okay, what is the one thing you want to do before you go? Before you die?" And she says, I've always wanted to just dig my hands in like a pool of like noodles. And so he like sets up a pool of noodles for her of like pasta.
That's all she wanted?
And she like goes through. It's just, listen, okay, obviously the directing, I'm tearing up because it was so good. It's such a beautiful scene. It's amazing.
A pool of noodles.
Listen.
The going rate.
For some people, you're not going to know.
Ladies, we gotta want more for ourselves. But I would love to watch this movie. I remember seeing like how you used to go to Blockbuster and see the I guess like movie posters for everything.
Yeah,
I want to say it was like in a crayon font or something.
And
so
he's
I
like
remember
wearing a nose, very clown. Yeah,
right.
Oh, it's so
You gotta
good.
go back and see it. Okay, Ben. Speaking of happy things, let's talk about some influencer things that are happening
Very
right
happy
now. Let's talk about
things.
some internet trends.
Internet.
One thing that is hot on the block right now is people making these yearbook AI photos that showed what they would look like if they took yearbook photos in the 90s.
Right. And you said that there is some detrimental effects to that because you're essentially giving your data over to a human
Right.
who is using AI technology for nefarious purposes. You know?
Well, I didn't say that. I actually want to. So let me explain a little bit more what's happening. So obviously, some high profile celebrities are sharing that they're doing this. Keke Palmer, Brett Rock, Charlie XCX. I even recently saw Coco Jones on my algorithm. She's doing it, and people are paying like upwards of what do I have here? $5.99 to $9.99 to
By
get
the
these
way,
high school photos created. Give me
I
one
only
second.
just knew one of those famous people.
You
Which
did?
It's funny.
Keke.
I just knew Keke.
You know Brett Rock. He's like the Filipino creator. He has like
I'm
really
trying to-
billowing, bushy hair. He's kind of like Fem. He might be non-binary. Lives in the Philippines. He has the chickens.
Does he?
He kind of.
Wait, I thought he lives.
He's
in,
like,
does he live in
girl.
Philippines or Hawaii?
Yeah, the Philippines.
Okay.
He's Filipino.
Okay. I thought he lived in Hawaii. Anyway, I'm starting to remember that now that you said. So maybe I do know some of these.
Yeah,
people.
yeah. The minute I show you him,
Okay, I'll
you'll know
remember
exactly who it is. But
I just-
like, big personality, big.
got
internet
it.
person.
But Keke Palmer, yeah, for sure.
So celebs are doing it. So then obviously the civilians start to do it. And Francesca Ramsey, who is somebody I love, she's like a writer for TV. She's been a producer. She's also an actor. She's been posting on X about it because somebody was saying like, damn, y'all, we can't even have a trend. Like, y'all always acting like the AI police. Now, this is what Francesca says, and then I want you to tell me what you think as the resident, like, sci-fi buff.
Yeah,
house, okay?
for sure.
So Francesca says, paying people to train AI with their pics is bad. There are serious legal and ethical concerns. AI plagiarizes from artists and is actively putting people out of work. Folks are passing around fake images to deceive people, and the tech is getting better because of your high school pic trend. She also wrote, the writer's strike went on for 146 days so we could get a fair contract with the studio that included AI regulations. This is serious. AI is coming for customer service, writers, editors, musicians, photographers, designers. Don't feed it. So.
Responses. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start with this. So there's a great artist named Michael Wallin. Familiar with Michael Wallin? He does all the famous like high fantasy kind of artwork, things from the Wheel of Time and those kinds of beautiful like dragons and things like that. He has a very distinct style.
Okay.
And his name sounds like mine, so I always remember it. His work is constantly being plagiarized all the time and through
like
these
his art,
because it's such a distinct style and AI can mimic this style. And so he's constantly sending cease and desist to these AI companies and they do not respond. These are, and Michael Whalen is very famous, very wealthy, and he is struggling to get his work and to get recognition for his work. So my problem is not necessarily with the AI, it's how people are using this AI. So someone is uploading Michael Whalen photos and his artwork to create mimicry of that.
Okay.
And then getting money from that. And that's
Right.
that's a problem. That's a problem. So you
Of
are
course.
stealing. Now let's take this trend right here.
Yeah, the
where
yearbook trend. 'Cause it might be some listeners out there that did the trend. If you are a listener and you did the trend, let us know. We're not vilifying anybody.
I don't
Whatever
know
dangerous, yeah.
specifically the company that does this trend, but what I do know for most of these companies is that they now own your likeness because of whatever. And so now they get to sell this to a third party. If a third party is creating a video game and they're going to they say, hey, we have all these pictures from high school and we're going to do a 1990s open world video game. Well, they can just sell all these photos of you. And so now your face and your likeness is being used. That doesn't bother you. And fine, go ahead and do that. But if that does bother you, and I think it bothered a lot of the actors because that was a big part where they wanted to use actors' likeness in the future,
Right.
as background people because it would save on production.
Sure. Is
And-
there a world where there are camps of people. So, for example, we create a lot of content, right?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I have definitely had fake Amber Wallin accounts pop up, post literally
Yeah.
our exact videos, and I
Get
see that
lots
they're
of
getting views and
views.
getting money. Well, it's also funny because in an effort to look just like us, to portray us or to portray me, they'll also share like the links to our live show coming up. So I'm like, I don't hate that.
Yeah,
I don't hate another
maybe,
person
another-
pushing out the link to the ticket sales. But I say that to say, is there a world where what needs to happen is like the entertainers and creators and celebs don't participate in the AI and people just wanting to have fun should? Like, is that
Well, it's the companies that the problem is that the government has to regulate these companies so that they're not selling off people's likeness for nefarious purposes or selling their image, because right now we're moving to a place where facial recognition is how you can get into your phone, how you can get into your computer. So if you're uploading your face to a program and that program is being run by unethical people, then those unethical people can just sell your likeness. There's something I mentioned before. There was a Muslim prayer app in the U.S. that took data from data location and sold it to the FBI, so the FBI could keep tabs on Muslim folk.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, so this is I think it should have made a lot more people angry. Look this up. There's articles about it. I'll put one in. This should have made, it was Muslims, so I think in the U.S. we care a little bit about Muslims than we do for
Well, a
other.
little bit less about you saying.
Yeah, we care a little bit less about
Damn.
their regulation and their rights than we do for other people, other religious groups specifically. So, yeah, my problem is celebs can do whatever they want. This is not on the celebs. This is on government officials and these program creators, because AI imaging can do incredible things. You can make really, really beautiful work. Like when Michael Wallin dies and his work can no longer be made personally, if his family and his estate can now upload his work ethically to an AI generator to get a Michael Wallin AI, kind of work. I mean, I think that would be really cool. There's a huge advantages to this. So to just be like, don't do this, whatever. Like, I don't care. Celebrities are
So
fucking
what you're
idiots.
saying-
I have I don't think celebrities have any responsibility for this. Like, you can be mad at the celebrities for doing this dumb shit, but they are not the ones. The onus is on the creators who are using these programs, and then the government officials who create regulations of this.
Got you. So you are saying it's cool if y'all participate in the yearbook trip. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way to not stop this from happening.
I mean, I
Like,
mean,
the only way to
just
stop
know
it
your
from
data
happening-
might be used in a way that is could lose and could result in identity theft.
Right. Like, the only way to stop this from being misused is to get the regulations.
Yeah.
So, like, me singularly not participating in the app
It's
ain't gonna do
stupid.
much.
I think
got
it's hilarious, or just like when people get mad at celebrities for having a political opinion. I'm like, these people are idiots anyway. I think all
Yeah.
celebrities just go back to playing baseball, go back to writing some shitty music, go back to
Right.
doing improv, whatever the fuck you do.
Well, it's hard because you can sometimes, celebrity is such a, it's such a large that covers a large group
It
of
does,
people,
yeah.
right? It covers people who are experts in their field, and it covers like that one YouTuber that made a dumb video and is now famous. Like, so
Many
we
one
can't.
YouTubers who made a dumb video and aren't famous.
It's true. It's true. So I think it's hard because we do confuse celebrity with authority, and
yeah, like there are
Sadly, that
celebrity
ain't it.
psychologists and there are celebrity
exactly.
brain
Like, I would kind of
surgeons.
call Neil deGrasse Tyson a celebrity at this point.
Yeah, he is 100%.
So it's hard to say like celebrities are stupid. It's like, well, it just depends. Like,
Well, when I should say TikTokers.
TikTokers.
I
Got
think
it.
TikTokers,
Hip-hoppers,
influencers,
Viners.
IG or IGN models, IG models,
Right.
actors, actresses. I have no expectations for them to act in an ethical matter. And so it's always funny when actors or actresses pretend as if they're acting in an ethical matter or they're speaking to some great political truth.
Ooh, girl. Anyway, next segment.
Yeah, let's do it.
Next up, we got imperfect parenting. So Ben basically put most of this outline together. Of
Good.
course, I pitched in with the listener like advice letters and stuff like that. But you have in here scented candles. What's going on? Why are we talking about
So,
scented candles for our parents this segment?
Amber has so many candles. If Amber goes through a cleaning day, she will put a candle in every freaking room and
I like
light up
that.
this
It's
place.
nice.
It smells really good, especially now. We're in October, and it's pumpkin spice season, baby.
That
It's
part.
that cinnamon
You act like
smell.
this is unique to me. Let me tell you about my bitch wife who puts candles
I
out.
never
during fall.
said you're not a bitch.
You just said
you're
that.
not a bitch for that.
You just said that.
You're not a bitch for that.
Okay.
For other things. So here's my thing. You are essentially burning petroleum. So I have made the decision to throw out all the candles in our house.
Okay, wait.
And
So every
to-
candle has petroleum in it.
most of them, they're supposedly natural.
Is petroleum bad? Because isn't like Vaseline like petroleum jelly?
Yeah, but not if you burn. When you burn, you're releasing like carbon into the atmosphere or excessive carbon.
Okay, so why is this in the
CO2.
parenting segment?
Well, because with kids, the effects of the smoke might not be bad for an adult, they say like keep it well ventilated, but for a little kid to smell that with their little lungs. So my thing is,
So a scented candle is
when
I
you
grew up
burn it-
smelling
when
scented candles all the time, every season.
right, and you have coughing, and you might get asthma later in life. You might
I'm
get really
30
sick.
damn too.
Listen, I'm telling you, I've realized we've been bad parents because we've been lighting scented candles, and we need to change that. So
I thought this was going a different way. I thought you were going to be like, she could knock it over or she could burn the house down.
I mean, yeah.
So we
that
can't
too.
have like a nice aromatic candle.
No.
Does every candle have petroleum in it?
There
I
are
really don't think
the
that's true.
natural smelling, the natural kind don't, but those don't smell as well. Like I've bought natural candles before, and they just don't have the same like fullness.
You got some research I can put in the episode notes about
I
this?
have 100% research. You can do that. So here's the debate.
You got the research, or
I got
can
the
go
research.
research?
I got the research. The debate really comes down to is that 100% you're burning like a form of petroleum, but is it enough to cause lasting harm? Right.
Right. This isn't
And
like
there's not
secondhand
enough
smoke.
research to suggest yet. Well, because
So what
scented
research
candles
did you
are
do?
fairly new, so you would have to be like you'd have to look at groups of people who have grown up using scented candles their entire life, and then compare their health with people who have not used scented candles.
Didn't you just say you're going to do the research, or you're going to share with
Well,
me your
there's-
research? And then you said there's not enough research to conclude that they're harmful. So which one is it?
Right. There's not enough research to conclude that they're harmful, but what we do know is that if you burn petroleum, like that is harmful to you. We know that.
In what ways?
Like you can't be sniffing gasoline. It's like paint thinner.
I
the
gotcha.
the same material that you have in these scented candles are the same chemicals in a paint thinner. It's a specific kind of chemical that I can't pronounce. So it's like, why
So you're
would
accusing me of killing my child because I want it to smell like.
you might have cut off a few minutes of her life.
Oh, here we go.
And listen, and that is why we're imperfect parents. I don't know what's worse, like you doing it because you love it, or me being just allowing you to do it. You know,
It's you allowing, because I didn't have this research.
right?
That you.
But now I
allegedly
have it, and so we're gonna throw out all the candles.
All of them?
Absolutely.
What about, okay, you remember that one time where you called me downstairs to surprise me, and
Yeah.
there was all these really
And-
nice scented candles burning, and you gave me like a hot oil massage?
I did.
So
give
no
you
more romance.
Well, no, I also maybe gave you a little cancer in the future as well.
Oh. I'll take a little night of potential unsafety for a deep.
I'm
for a
sure
deep
anybody with
massage.
cancer who is suffering deeply would be like, no, you would not.
I'm sure everybody with cancer is thinking like, damn, I shouldn't have burnt that warm vanilla sugar candle. That's what got me
the
here.
vanilla sugar cookie candle. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those.
Uh,
Okay, so we can only buy natural candles which don't have a scent anymore.
Well, they do have a scent, but it's just not as good. It's
So
not
my
as
Christmas
strong.
candles, they're gone.
Yeah, you can pretend to like have them, but we can't burn them.
But then you get mad when I try to spray a little Febreze on the carpets and stuff.
you know what I got really mad is when and
You talking about my mama?
Your
You
parents
talking about my
actually
mama?
burned Fabulosa. What is it called?
Fabuloso, Ben. You can
Fabuloso.
tell you don't be cleaning.
I don't. They
I-
burn
na-
it.
na-
That
here,
it
here,
literally
here.
says, "Do not
This-
burn that."
This shows you they don't burn that.
Your
She'll
dad
clean-
burns it inside the pan in the house.
I've never seen. I don't know what pan you're talking about.
The
Like a food
Fabulosa.
pan? Fabulosa's for like the surfaces and the floor.
I
and
know
stuff.
your dad burns it to clean the house.
Here. Let's do this.
I was like, that is.
Name 4 cleaning products. Four brands of cleaning products.
You got Windex.
Okay.
You got Windex for steel. You got Windex for hardwood floor.
This is how you know you don't clean shit. You can't name one other spray.
No, you
wipe
got
down the
bleach.
bathroom.
You got bleach. You got bleach and ammonia.
I'll take bleach.
Bleach and ammonia. You mix them together. Get a Molotov cocktail.
And give me one more.
A
brand.
Kleenex. Yeah, you could use
like
a
the
tissue to like.
No, give me a spray, something out the bottle. This is a disgrace. Ask the men in your lives for 4 cleaning products, ladies.
Well,
and if he can't name 4,
vinegar.
kick his ass
I
out.
use vinegar. So I actually make my own non-toxic natural cleaner. I put like a little bit of
and that shit
scented
don't work.
oils and with vinegar and then some dish soap. Yeah, it works. It works great.
No, how would you know, Ben?
Because I use it. I'm the one who makes the mixture.
What's all in the mixture?
All right, so you got like it's like 50-50 vinegar and water, and then you put a couple tablespoons of like a scented oil, so like lemon.
I ain't cleaning shit. You want to talk about relationships?
Yeah. I feel like ours is on the rocks right now.
It's not. Actually, we have been getting some, people have been really trying to. There have been a lot of public breakups and divorces lately.
Yeah.
Jeannie Mai and Jeezy broke up. There's a lesbian TikTok couple, LaShondra and Ray Shonda, that are going through it. Team Ray Shonda. This podcast is Team Ray Shonda. And that saga
I don't
is
care
going
to be
out.
on a team.
No, we have to be on Ray Shonda's side of this. And then apparently Will and Jada have been separated since 2016. Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert have been separated for a while. I know, right?
Dang.
Everybody's breaking up. So people, we're
I
the
think
last
Tiana
hope
Taylor
out
is
here.
beautiful, so this is good news for me.
You think you have a chance with the Tiana Taylor? Yeah,
No.
you've been huffing too many scented candles in our house. If that's what you thought. Yeah, literally somebody left a comment on a TikTok video of mine that says, "Please don't leave Ben. I'm worried about y'all." Y'all is spelled YAW, by the way. Take some time for y'all to continue to grow. She kind of ate with that comment. My other TikTok aunts are getting a divorce, and my heart is. And then they didn't finish the comment. I'm gonna guess this is a she. But somebody's worried about us out there. They
heart
should be.
is ...
If you're worried about me and Ben, you should be.
Man,
we got too many scented candles in the
I think it's
house.
hilarious that people think we're going to break up. I think we should. Well, actually, there was one point where I was like, Amber, we should pretend we're going to break up for more views.
No. I hate pranks and stupid
I
stuff
love
like
that. But we're announcing us going on our live show together.
I said that's a horrible idea, Ben. And I think the internet thanks me for not shaking them like that.
I think divorce is so funny when celebrities do it and the way we talk about it.
What's funny about it?
As if, the world is ending type of thing.
Their world is ending.
Yeah, but why is it on the news?
Like when couples break up and it's like
the whole J-Lo, Ben Affleck saga.
Okay.
I
think they're still together though.
Right, but remember they broke up and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it's like celebrity pop culture gossip.
Right, but people know more about that than they do about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. You know what I mean? Like that for me, I find the drama of that, I find so silly. And
I know, but
so
two things can be true at the same
sadness-
time though. Like you can mourn the loss of a relationship you aspire to be like, and you can be well read on.
I guess
what's
if
going on
that's
in
something
the
you
world.
aspire to be. I guess I never aspire to be anybody except for myself when it comes to relationships. Like I am my own perfect role model. when it
Yeah,
comes.
you don't
to
have one couple that you're like, I really can get down with how they couple. I feel like Kevin and Melissa were like, I was like,
but also like I would not be heartbroken if they broke up.
oh, I would.
I mean, like just people like I understand like that is not how I am.
I see what
Like-
you mean. I see what you mean though. Like you can't put all of your hopes and dreams and into somebody else's relationship.
I think you can. I think I'm glad people do because that's what makes us popular. So continue putting your hopes and dreams in us.
But you say you don't do that because you're morally superior. I got you.
No, I just think that I know better about how I do relationships than anybody else to model. You know.
You know better about how you do this relationship.
Yeah.
How you think you do in this
I think
relationship?
I'm killing it. I'm killing that
You
shit.
did good today.
And last
Tomorrow's
night.
a new day.
I did-
Tomorrow's a new day. What'd you do last
Wait,
night?
I don't know why. Wait, why? But do you not find it funny sometimes when like?
It is interesting when
am I-
people are devastated, but you have to remember people romanticize and people aspire to be like some couples. Like people say things like y'all are couples goals,
Yeah,
y'all are
okay.
relationship goals.
I see things that where couples do something. I said, "Ooh, I would like to do that as well."
Yes, but there is some level of like obviously like with us like people do relate to
Yeah.
oh, I feel like I have a Ben. I feel like I agree with Amber, or I have a child y'all's age or whatever. So sometimes the notion is like, if this doesn't work, will my situation work? I don't
You
think
know-
like that, but some people do. You never know.
Yeah. No, that's tricky. Okay, so I don't want to
And some
sound
people just
terrible.
like some people like to just be messy and know hot gossip too. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna act like everybody was super invested in like Will and Jada. Like most people are like, we knew this was gonna be a mess, blah 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 blah,
I
and they
think
want to
it's
have
so-
discourse. You know,
Well, they've been broken up since 2016,
right?
and he got mad about
Yeah,
getting slapped.
yeah.
I mean, that
well,
shows
he
that.
slapped somebody. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with this whole slap situation. I'm like, oh, so he still stood up for her, even though
Yeah,
he
that's
wasn't
still his
getting
family member. So,
getting
yeah.
anything.
I
from
think
that
I would still slap the
relationship.
shit out of somebody for messing with you years after we broke up, if that was us.
That's awesome.
Did you just fart?
No,
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
just farted.
so you're the Jada to my Will,
Well, I don't know. I
or
need
you're
to
the
re- I
Will.
need to read
You're
the
the Will
book.
to my Jada.
I need to hear what's going on, but I would hope you would still slap the shit out of somebody for me. If we broke up,
Yeah, I would stand up for you.
you're just
I would-
saying you wouldn't slap them.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's
no.
fair.
I just slapping. I have slapped people before.
Really?
You when I've slapped you on the butt.
On the butt. On the butt. I was like,
It still
yeah,
hurts.
like let the record, or
It
you
hurts-
you've
it
slapped me in the
hurts my
face in like
hand.
a kinky way.
Yeah, you slapped me in the face too,
Yeah,
in a
I
kinky
did.
way.
I did.
There's a great just look up like healthy sex slapping, and there's great resources out there for people.
I
who
love
wanna try
that
that.
pivot we just made from like them breaking up to like, but there are sexy, hot, healthy ways to slap each other. in the
There
face.
are, and I think that's probably why we're in a good position.
Me too.
I don't think we're moving in the realm of divorce.
No, I mean,
It is sad. It is sad. I should say it's not funny. It's sad.
right. Like, what's funny about families being split apart and having to move things and split assets and liquids and all that? That ain't funny.
It's the larger social response to these celebrity divorces. I
see
find
what you mean.
they tickle me a little bit.
They tickle you a little bit. All right.
Or if people start divorcing and then they're like, I always hated that bitch or something, you'll see
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
wild.
that. Or that guy was always a dick. And I was like, oh, all right. Now you feel free to speak your mind.
Yeah, it's hard, especially with the TikTok one. I'm a little invested in that one. I've been watching like play-by-plays of that, and that one is just tough because there's new.
I don't know this situation.
I'm not gonna go too much into it because I'm going to misquote or
Yeah.
contribute to the messiness of the internet. But
Well,
essentially,
again,
like,
we're not professionals, so
no, yeah, I'm not an investigative journalist. I want to be clear about that. But essentially, there are two women who are married on TikTok. They've been married basically like the last 6 years,
a
and
long
one
time.
of them, is sort of like the main, like very positive content
Yeah, yeah.
creator who also has a fashion line, and she does like a lot of different like gigs around the country. And then she was married to this woman who was a pastor. Okay. So it turns out the pastor is basically like a scam artist, a con artist, from like conning people with money with properties to like, so allegedly like they're gonna be evicted soon because she thought that her partner was like paying them rent and stuff. Like it's getting messy. There's kids involved.
That is why I actually have you all our logins for our mortgage, for the rent. Like, you know everything.
I know,
like, you're
but
on
if
the
I didn't
stream.
like, but you're also not a con artist. Like that.
Yeah.
Those are the developments that are coming up, and like the little lies of that kind of.
Lesbian pastor, con artist, and black. She's
Yes,
black.
yes. These are two black. If you're not on this side of the algorithm, you need to like more gay things. Maybe I don't know why you're not on lesbian divorce TikTok right now, but it is a dumpster fire, and everybody's like, you know how it goes. Everybody starts to weigh in.
You know, right after this is so fucked up. Right after gay marriage was legalized in the U.S., I had a friend be like, "Well, now I'm ready to study like gay divorce law, like just focus on gay divorce law."
Yeah.
This person was getting ready to go to law school and was like, "I can make a killing doing this. Like, I'm gay. I can just make that my practice."
Got it, okay.
where I
You saying
just-
that this person's gay makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, that person was gay. It was like, I just want to do that. I just want to, and I'll make a killing. I was like, wow, that is fucking genius. Cheers to you. Like, ooh, yeah.
That
Anyway.
sucks. No, it does not feel like fun or funny. Like, especially if you're watching videos of her weighing in on it, you're like, damn, this woman was like scammed, and now she might be scammed out of more money, because she's like paying for things that this person forgot, which really sucks. And so, I would hope that if you were a con artist, I would be onto your game before.
I would love to say, though, that this is a great lesson that if you have shared pooled resources with your partner, you need to be sitting down and discussing that. You should have a budget with them.
Right.
You should be reviewing things with them. You should make some like clear guidelines. I know a lot of people who just spend as if there's no communication, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, this is my money, this is your money. Or
Mhm.
that they spend something without having a conversation about that. And I'm very proud that I have forced you to let me know when you spend things, and
Yeah.
I'm
whatever.
good at that.
Yeah.
I did get mad at you recently because you used the wrong account to buy something.
Right, but that's because that account wasn't working.
Yeah.
To be fair,
We have like
to
a
my
business,
credit.
we have a business account, which, by the way, free financial advice. If you do any sort of freelancing, you need to set up an LLC. You need to set up a business account.
Yeah.
And you need to write off as many things as you can. But it will be very easy if you keep those two accounts differently.
Yeah,
and
which
and
is
it's
what we
very-
are recently learning because we didn't do that.
Yeah,
correctly.
so I've had to go back through every single expense and qualify as either personal or business. But here's the thing. It's very easy to set up an LLC. Just look up how much money you need to pay for your states. In California, I think it was, right around 100 for me to do everything. Maybe a little bit more. I have to look at the exact expense, but it wasn't a lot. So definitely do that. Do that, people.
All right. You want to move on to some relationship advice?
Yeah.
I do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts.
Thank you for hopefully
That's a good thing. Do's and don'ts.
do's
in
and don'ts.
relationship.
Do set up a business account if you're running a business. Don't not do that.
or don't. If you're, man, I know people like they live together and they just don't talk about money,
Mm-hmm.
or they talk about money after the fact, and they don't set up a budget. It's so easy to like pay for a program, set up a budget,
It's not easy to pay for a program.
or just find a program. There's so many free programs, or
Yeah, that's
budget
fair.
like Excel
Like
sheets that
QuickBooks or
people.
something, yeah.
Yeah, QuickBooks is a little pricey,
Yeah.
but there are things that you can buy. So it's been such a pain in the ass for us to go through and do all this, but ultimately we have had less arguments about money, and
Yeah,
one of the
that's fair.
big things about divorce is that it almost always comes down to money. That's
You're right.
the number one reason why most people get divorces. And it's like infidelity, I think, is number 2. But for me, I cannot stress this enough for people, especially young people, when they talk about money. And the biggest thing that young people are concerned about: do I pay for the meal or do you pay for the meal? And that's something that way more complicated than that. I'm gonna stop preaching right now. I'm done.
No, you're great.
But I'm passionate about that. Passionate about money.
Money. All right, you want me to
go for
talk
it.
relationships? I got 2 pretty short letters. Dear Fly on the Wallin, my husband took a new job in upstate New York. It's a 2-year contract, and I am stuck alone at home with 3 kids. He comes home Saturday night and leaves 2 a.m. Monday morning. I'm happy he's finally... Ooh, that has some stank on it. I'm happy he's finally working to contribute financially because I was working and paying the bills, but I'm freaking lonely and miserable, stuck with our 3 kids, and I'm scared that I might do something to destroy our marriage because of my loneliness. Please help.
So here's the thing. Not enough people pay for their porn. But when you pay for your porn, you are helping porn stars, but you might be addressing some of that loneliness as well. So I'm a huge proponent for like getting some sort of porn. I'm a proponent for porn subscriptions. That is my non-serious answer, which is sort of serious. But which is funny. It's like people think like I deserve sex, like it's something I shouldn't have to pay for because it's. And I was like, yeah, but we pay for coffee. We pay for fucking water.
Yeah, like, we pay for everything. We pay for AC. We pay for
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
It's illegal to pay for sex. Anyway, these people are just so uncomfortable with the idea of paying for sex, except that some people are just really good at sex and they deserve to be paid for it. Anyway, that's sort of my
Yeah, because you could hear a hint of that in the letter of like,
yeah, it's like
I'm
infidelity.
lonely sexually, potentially. I'm lonely because I have to interact with 3 tiny brains all day. I need like some adult interaction. What do you think? So if this was you and I would definitely try to require some sort of points of contact with you during the week when you're away.
Yeah.
I know you have a hard job, but I would say like, yo, we
hard.
need phone sex once a week or something while you're away.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's a great advice.
Like
set up a phone sex date.
Yeah, like a date night. Virtual dates, I feel like are pretty easy to plan. Like maybe y'all could watch the same movie. Y'all could do a virtual workout date. Y'all could do like
oh yeah, those are great.
Give me 1 second. Let's both DoorDash the same meal to the house and eat it together.
And Prime Video does this thing where you can watch. I've watched
parties.
Movies with my parents at the same time together.
Yeah.
When me and my mom were getting ready to go to Paris, we were watching documentaries together at the same time, and I had the phone on, so I could like talk to her through that or chat through that. It was a really fun experience.
Or it needs to be some sort of like, hey, maybe you can read the kids a book every single night.
I like that.
Like I will set up the Zoom call and you read them to sleep, but you got to put in some effort because being with 3 kids by yourself all during the week and you're only home Saturday until 2 a.m. Monday morning is very, very hard. I
know this is it's so much easier said than done, but if your kids are on a sleep schedule and they go to bed sort of all at the same time, that would give you freedom to do these kinds of things. And I know it's really hard to set up a schedule and to create that boundary, because something that Amber and I discovered is that recently we went home and we had good family members, good parents and all, but their kids would just stay up all fucking night. And some of them were like Wild's age. And meanwhile, because I read this book called The Happy Sleeper, and I'm just like very into the idea
You're
of
just better than everybody else.
I know.
Fanita said that. Us millennials are know-it-alls. Yeah.
We are, and you should listen to us. So if you want happiness, listen to me. But here's the thing. Wild's on this sleep schedule, and so she goes to bed all the time at the same freaking time, and I get so much time to read a book, to write, to masturbate with Amber, watching for our like paid porn. And I'm telling you,
paying for porn? I didn't know that. You pay for browsers?
There's a couple of sites.
I watch porn just free.
Yeah, but they like cut things out,
I don't
and
need
also
much.
And here's the thing: when you watch it for free,
what? Okay, this I know we're off topic. How long is your ideal porn video? Because I only need about
45 minutes, 40 minutes.
What the hell?
I need
That's
the
a
workup.
long-ass time.
I like the narrative.
You like the storyline with the plot? Oh,
yeah.
I hate that. I hate pretending like.
Are you the ones who just
delivering
skip to
something?
it?
Yeah, I'm like skip.
Well, delivery ones are not fun, but there are some interesting stories.
You
Especially
like to
when they
watch
do
45 minutes of porn.
I like when they do.
Look at you. I like.
So they did these Pirate of the Caribbean's like X films, or they do like
Oh wow.
Black Panther,
Like the versions, like So,
those are
weird. You sound
interesting.
very fetishy now. So you watch the Black
I'm
Panther.
just saying that I
sex
find them
version.
sort of funny and arousing at the
Pussy
same.
Forever. What was that called?
I don't remember. I
How
did
much
not,
are you paying? I did not know that you were paying for porn, but I'm not pressed about it. How much?
No, there's a couple subscriptions. How
a
much?
couple. Is it like OnlyFans? OnlyFans is a vibe.
There are some OnlyFans that
I'm finding this out live on the air. I'm not even pressed about it. I like we both kind of like own our own sexuality, so
But I'm not
I'm
like
not upset
I
about
don't
it.
watch it a lot. Usually I just
You better
watch-
be watching it a lot if you paying for the subscriptions.
It's more of like
You better be back there every
I believe
day.
in supporting sex workers.
You can support them not monthly. You can support them every now and then. How many porn subscriptions do you have? Answer the goddamn question.
I think I've spent about like $60 a month.
In porn?
It's subscriptions. I'm gonna make it a tax write-off. We're talking about it now.
Name
Charitable contributions.
$60 a month in porn. This man is. I mean.
We've watched it together. That's actually
we
really.
watch porn together. That's why I'm not
It's
pressed
actually
about
really fun to watch porn with your partner.
It's
if
really
you've
fun to
done-
watch
and
porn
then
with
like,
you.
and then
That's
you
why
end
I'm
up
not pressed
learning
about
things.
it. I just didn't know we was paying $60 a month in porn. I'm gonna have to sit with that. I just feel like that's too high.
How about let's
Okay,
talk.
I guess our
you go out
advice
to a
to the
meal.
listener would be that you too should be paying $60 a month in porn.
Well, you might
Maybe
not be
we'll
able to
so
afford that. I'm just saying. What the fuck am I saying?
How much money are we spending a year in porn? I just need to do some quick. I just need to do some quick math because I've been watching free porn. So now I'm gonna watch.
It's about
the sites that you-
$720. Because you do 60 plus 60, which
I
is
did,
120.
yeah. No, that's
120
how
plus
much it
60.
costs. That's just funny to me. Damn.
So let's get back to this very lonely woman.
Letter number 2. I think we told her what she needs to do. She needs to get on those porn sites. I don't know. Maybe I also love a good phone sex situation. Like
Yeah.
that's like it feels like porn, but it ain't.
Yeah.
He's got to give you something, or when he comes home for those 2 days, you need a day to yourself. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
because you and him are probably missing a lot of time to connect. At least it's only a 2-year contract.
2 year, yeah.
2 years, hopefully, will go
long.
by like that.
Depending how old your kids are, I do think it's important that you put all your kids on to bed at the same time, and so you can get some time to yourself. Like, it's gonna be hard because you're gonna have to be consistent. You have to set up a schedule. Like, Wild gets free play, bath, and then we read a book to her, and then we put her down. There's a consistent schedule, but figure out.
Yeah,
a
but
way
three
to
of them motherfuckers.
That's out of my pay grade.
I don't know how we could do.
I mean, you can. Starting it is hard. Like, since we started it with Wild, it might be easier to add a second and then a third. But I don't know this person's situation, like how much time they get at night by themselves.
I got you.
Or like even
I'm gonna move on to letter number 2. This episode is given. This episode name is feeling like for just $60 a month. ... Like, y'all, I want y'all to sound off, especially y'all, those of you watching this on YouTube. Sound off. It's been paying too much a month for porn, aka am I paying too much a month for porn?
it's a shared expense.
And I'm aware of that now. Just let me know when we get home what sites I should be logged into on my shit.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you know.
I'll set you up.
Set me up, baby. Letter number 2. Damn. Dear Amber and Ben, we've been poly for 3+ years. Polyamorous relationship, for those of you who don't know. And she started seeing someone else. And now I'm feeling jealousy. We both dated, but this is the first time she's actually had feelings and emotions for someone, and not just sexual attraction. We've never been apart longer than a week, technically living in the same household. But we each have our own individual apartments. You know, since the 2020 pandemic, love, all of that. This past month, I moved back into my own apartment, and we'll and will be spending more time alone. This past week, her and him have been spending more time together in my absence. It makes me jealous and scared that he may replace me since they are spending more be poly, like you should expect to be jealous. Like we should assume that you're not going to be jealous. And I want to say, like, in poly dynamics, people definitely experience jealousy because,
and
like,
friend
that's just human.
dynamics.
In friend dynamics, people experience jealousy, things like that. So this is something that could happen with just about anybody, jealousy in the relationship. What I will say is that I think it would be smart to talk to your partner. This person, I'm guessing is he. You should talk to your partner about how you're feeling jealous about the time they're spending together. I would, like, if this was us and you were spending like a lot of time with this new person and y'all were going on dates more, I would be like, hey, let's you and me weigh in, because I thought like we were gonna be poly, but like we're each other's primary person. So
That is interesting. That does happen where you have a primary person and then you switch and then you have a new primary person and your primary person becomes your secondary person.
yeah,
That'd be really hard.
that would be very hard. But I think I would want you to talk to me about it, or I'm definitely gonna talk to you about it, because if it's just happening, that person might not even realize that they're spending more quality time, or maybe you're assuming that they're spending quality time together and they really just like having sex and moving on.
Right. With these kinds of things, you're telling us as, podcasters that you're feeling jealous, but the person you have to tell is your partner. You have to say, "Hey, I'm feeling this jealousy and this is where it's coming from."
And it just might be the novelty of the new dynamic.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're used to just you and your partner for so long. So it's like, what's this new person who's always around you? When in reality, like, they might not even really have that deep of a connection. It's just a new person.
It's the newness of it that becomes
right.
Like, yeah. Because it is fun to like talk to someone new.
And flirt with someone new,
Yeah.
and it kind of like reignites you again.
It does.
But in reality, you're like, oh, I might be icing my person out.
Yeah, and coming back to that idea that you need to tell them this, like, hey, I'm feeling jealousy, and I'm gonna work through this jealousy, but this is a real thing. So can we please hang out and spend some quality time together?
Yes.
You should just make your needs known. I have never been disappointed when I've told Amber how I really feel. Every time. Even if I know it's something that's going to make her upset, and she does get upset, I always feel better because she has a pretty significant, like, quick cool down time.
I do.
You do.
Thank
yeah.
you for giving me some credit for that.
I do, yeah.
Or even sometimes if I sleep on it, I'll be like, I was kind of tripping yesterday. Like,
yeah, exactly. And so I never have a problem being honest with Amber. I always have a problem when I'm dishonest or I withhold the truth. Or suppress feelings. That's where problems arise every single time. Every problem I've had with Amber is like me deep sighing and then not saying anything or suppressing the feelings that I have.
I think we've also done a good job of setting up a base layer for both of us. So, like, our base layer is that we are committed to each other and we respect each other.
We do.
And that we are life partners. Like,
we are.
Like, we're married, and you have left an imprint on me that I will, you will always be in my life.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Since that is the base layer, there's almost nothing we can't talk about.
Yeah.
In a way. Like, even when you like piss me off, like the go-to is not like, okay, I got to get this man out of my house. The go-to is
you can't
like,
see her, but Amber's tearing up a little bit. It's really
I'm sure they can hear, but I love you so much. So I think that, why is this happening? What am I doing? This
Are
is
you
crazy.
crying? Yeah.
Because I love you so much. And so I'm not saying like, of course, if you were disrespectful and mistreating me,
Yeah.
your ass would be out. But
It's just the
you
idea of
don't do
being
that.
honest.
You
It's
treat
so
me
nice.
so well. So like
This sort of makes me sad that this person doesn't feel comfortable telling their partner that they feel jealous, right?
Right.
And there are times where I've gone out and hung out with people and it's hurt you and every time you're like,
wait, really? I'm trying to think about what you're talking about.
yeah, like or like you're like, wait, I thought we were gonna hang out and do something.
Oh, it's not the specific people you hung out with.
No, not the specific person, just the fact that
I need that. I'm having that Wendy Williams like
yeah,
Q-tip
and
over it.
and I've always been really accepting of your messy feelings, and not everyone is like that, and not everyone is willing to accept someone as messy as Amber. And the fact that I accept you is sort of unique and difficult and extraordinary that I continue to do it. So I think you're just overwhelmed.
A tone of a lot of letters that we hear sometimes. You and I are so vulnerable with each other.
Yeah.
We might have our defenses up at first, but I'm good for like earlier when I was mad about this thing, it's actually because I was insecure about blank.
Yeah.
And I have found with sharing with you and with sharing ourselves on the internet, when I lead with some vulnerability and warmth, like that's never in vain. That's never,
No.
in most cases, I am not taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Like
at
I
least
told
with
Ben,
me.
I
With
told
me.
Ben last week, I basically talked myself out of like 3 different situations where I was going to be charged for something.
Yeah.
But because I led with like warmth
Or humility.
like, hey, I made this mistake. I asked my agent for an extension on something that I was supposed to submit right now. And I was like, hey, I dropped the ball on this. If I could just get a 24-hour extension on this, like it would really mean a great deal to me. And I found that when I come to people with humility and vulnerability, in most cases, they're like, you know what? Yeah, like 24 hours. What's the harm? A $50. Don't even pay the $50 fee. Just go on in. Don't even. We're gonna comp you back that $200. Like something like that literally happened to me this week, and I was like, Ben, I effed up this thing, and now I got to get some money back. I led with some warmth.
You have grown and developed so much in that way. For example, today we got they lost the ticket.
They lost the ticket.
And we were very respectful.
Yeah.
We're like, hey,
Even
like,
though my
we've been
stomach,
waiting.
my stomach was on my back,
Yeah,
and I was
and-
like, I don't even have time for
and
the
Amber-
1 hour of lunch that
Amber
I
was
crafted
getting
out.
short with me at one point. She's like, you know what? I'm only getting short with you because I'm upset about something that has nothing to do with you. You like closed your eyes and almost narrated to yourself. I don't know if you remember this, but you came over, put something in your backpack. I was like, why don't you go breathe, go to the bathroom? I'm going to finish up some work here. And you came back, you reset.
Because I was already feeling overwhelmed
Yeah.
with like an
Well,
inbox full of things that I have to do. So the food coming out an hour late, I was like, okay,
It's just,
somebody is fucking with me.
but I know many years ago when we first started dating, you would have made a big stink about this, or it would have annoyed you maybe in a little different way, especially when the food is a little bit more expensive out here in LA.
And it wasn't flavorful.
Yeah, and it didn't taste good. But you know what? All this, you spoke behind the person's back.
Yes, we have to.
And
speak
you were
behind
very
each other's
kind.
backs.
Like the people.
Callback.
Yes, you were very kind and respectful because you're like food service. They got literally. We walked in, 0 wait. No one was in front of us. No one was behind us.
Right.
We order our food, and then right after that, probably within 10 minutes, 20, 30 people came through, and so they lost your ticket, and so
And sometimes
whatever.
the kitchen gets backed up. I've
So
worked in
you
a
were
kitchen
just
before.
you were just very understanding, and you're like, hey, like, and they ended up comping the burrito. They didn't charge you for it.
Yeah, I want y'all to wrap your mind around the fact that I waited 1 hour for a burrito. but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah,
The
and
kitchen makes mistakes. It's
and then
fine.
also we just sort of we contextualize it. We're like, first of all, we have time to order food, and we have resources to order food.
Yes.
We're sitting out here in the sun, in beautiful California.
Yeah. Oh, I love a zoom out. I'm like,
writing,
Amber, zoom out.
zoom
You are
out.
living your dreams
We're
right
living
now.
our dreams.
We're growing more every day as a couple, as a brand, and a burrito can be an hour late.
Yeah. So I mean, this person needs to zoom out, get an hour long burrito wait, and talk to their partner and say that they're jealous. Like, hey, I'm getting jealous, so you fix my jealousy.
In conclusion, just be honest and vulnerable with your partners. If they take that for granted, they're not the right person for you. But I like what you said. It's like it's always paid off to be honest and humble with my person, which is the person sitting across from me right now.
Some people you should be dishonest to, like the IRS and the U.S. government, but your closest allies, be honest.
$60 a month in porn. I think for Shelfie, because we have to wrap up this episode real quick. For Shelfie, watch $60 worth of porn. Is the best thing I can conclude. Next week's episode, we'll talk about a movie that we're gonna watch. But
we can talk about Nightmare on Elm Street
real quick, Ben, because we're right at the
or at the
get y'all
hour.
asses out of here point. Yep, it's 2:30.
Oh, do we have to leave here by 2:30?
It's time. Go. What could you possibly have to say about Nightmare on Elm Street? Because we've been trying to watch it every night.
I'm just saying.
But I keep falling asleep.
She keeps falling asleep, and it's made me so sad because it's such a good movie. So
I know it's hard for me to watch scary movies late at night unless they're very captivating, which we've done that.
Yeah.
But Nightmare has just not getting to. I do like seeing like I guess this is not fun to say, but like a young Johnny Depp. He wasn't everybody's favorite this year.
No, he wasn't, but he you gotta finish.
I'm gonna finish it. This Nightmare on Elm Street is becoming like a 6-night series at this point.
And
Am I at least halfway through it?
We actually have to watch like 4 more of them too. We have to watch the sequel, the third one. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I just gotta find out. I know it's getting to the point where like, why is Freddy Krueger doing what he does? But it's hard for me to stay invested because I don't know that. So it's just still like
you don't find the origin story of Freddy Krueger until almost halfway done.
Yeah,
with the movie.
see, I'm waiting for that because then I'll be a little bit more invested. But I do like Wes Craven's style, and I do love the creature feature. Like it's great. It's just not keeping me awake at night. Fair.
All right. Well,
I'm gonna finish it though. With that being said, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Fly on the Wallin podcast. Be honest with your partners. Pay sex workers. Pay for good porn. And we will see y'all. Oh, and buy your tickets to City Winery in New York City. Right, baby?
hell yeah. Yeah, buy them. We'll be there. We got a lot of things planned. It's going to be a variety show. So we got, it's podcast on steroids. We got an opener. I'm going to do stand-up. Amber's going to do some stand-up. We got songs. We have games. It's going to be a wonderful fucking time. We have improv. We'll do some improv of a sorts. It's going to be a good-ass time.
Got it. So we will see y'all next week for the show. Bye.
You know they're from TikTok, cause those laughs keep you coming, cause they're wildin' all the time. Before wild throws a tantrum, listen to our